Hello, and welcome to Taking the Journey Together. Yes, taking the journey together. For those out there who have been with us for a whole bunch of years, or months, or times, or days, I am Imar or Craig, and this is. She's not here. That's right, she's not here. Usually, when you see me, you see her. Her is not there. Where is she? She's invisible. You can't see her. But I guarantee you, she's right in this chair. Yes, she's in that chair someplace. Oh my goodness. Ah, well, hey, I'm joking with you. Really, I am. She had to skip out because she was just tired of doing this show. She told me, I'm tired of doing this, Craig. You always give me a hard time. You never give me enough time to be able to talk. And people just are thinking that maybe this is, scripted reality. No, not really. Not really. Teacher work. She had to do some teacher work and take care of all those kids that many teachers have to do, even after work. And that's why she didn't make it. But she said, hey, I'm here in spirit with you. Just let them know I'm over there. So we're glad to see you here. We're glad those who have been with for quite a while have been here and are here right now. Want you to go and share friends, neighborhood, um, brother and sister, your mate, people you like, people you don't like. Hey, we want you to share because we're going to continue to talk about relationships. That's what we're going to continue to do. And sometimes in your relationship, you're not going to always be together. Got to work. She got to work. Want to go to the store? Are they going to the store? She'll be in another room. You'll be in another room. So you're not going to always be together. Funny thing is, when it comes to relationships, we do have a motto when it comes to taking the journey. Yes, we have a motto or a mission. I'm going to go ahead and let those who don't know it know what it is now. It's called You're Going to Relate. That's right. You're going to relate. It don't make a difference what your mom says. It don't make a difference what your dad says. It doesn't make a difference what your sister, your brother, your friend says. It don't make a difference. I always say this too. If you're religious, please excuse me, what Jesus says. You're going to relate. Hey, but with us taking the journey together, we want you to relate in a way that's like this. Not just being a friend, not just being a lover. Because, we usually had that old thing that if you're a lover, you can't be my friend. If you're a friend, you can't be my lover. But taking the journey is all about doing it together where we are friends and lovers together. That's what taking the journey is all about. Trying to have us start moving more together in a friendly way so we can have a healthier, have a more balanced and a thriving relationship. So if that's what you want, a more healthier and thriving relationship, then that's why you're still listening to us. And that's why maybe you're new and you will move to hear us today so that you can learn more about it. Now, I'm going to real quickly, I don't have it in front of me. Usually Sharon does this, and we talk about our hot button. It's not here, but yeah, a hot button. Yeah, that's right. I said hot button. She usually wears it because she's the hot one in the relationship. No, not hot the way you think, guys. No. Hot means this: honest, open, and transparent. That's what hot means. Honest, open, and transparent. And we have a button that we usually have people take a look at. And I don't have mine on right now. I don't know where it's at. Let me look here. It's someplace around here. I don't know. But anyway, something that we go ahead and allow you, if you want to purchase that hot button, look below. You can purchase this hot button. We have a email address where you can purchase it for $5. And that money goes towards this radio station. And we just need you to know that this, not radio station, I'm sorry. We do a radio station show, WRUU 107.5, but this great digital network streaming channel, We want to make sure that you get a chance to see more of this show and allow us to expand, especially if you're getting something out of it. That's right. We want you to put your money where your mouth is. When you're getting something out of it, it's something that's touching you, moving you, then we want you to put your money back in this great kind of channel. So $5, that's all it takes. $5. We'll pass that hot button under you. You wear that hot button, you're down the street, you walk into the store, you walk into the church, you walk into someone, and they say, hey, what do you got that hot button on? And I'm just looking while I'm talking. And you're saying to them, hey, am I not hot? And they go, what are you talking about? I don't know where that button's at, come to think of it. Well, usually she keeps track of it. But anyway, and you'll say, Gus, I'm hot. And they'll say, what do you mean by that? And that's when you can catch them in that conversation and say, because I'm honest, open, and transparent. Is that something you would like to be? Hey, you never know. They might say yes. What a good way to start a conversation, especially if maybe you like this person, especially maybe if you want to connect with this person, especially if you may want to start a commitment with this person. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. That's our topic today. Our topic today is about commitment. A commitment. I'm trying to look up here and see if we got it in here today. No, I don't know what happened to it. That's kind of funny. Used to be up here someplace. But anyway, you can know. I'm going to try to get it up here real quickly so we can talk a little bit more about it. But I want to say now, remember when she's here, and I always say when she's here or not, no question, no story that you have is stupid, doesn't make sense, because it's your story. It's your story. It's your experience. It's that which you created. So you may have a story. You may have something you created in the area of relationships that you may want to talk to us about, especially in the topic that we're talking about. Like today, we are talking about commitment. I don't know why I don't have this, but I'm going to try to put it up here anyway. And that's what we're talking about, commitment. Commitment. What is commitment to you? Come on. Want somebody up here? Type right in. Text one in. Don't be scared. That's our topic. Commitment. What is commitment to you? Tell me in your own words, what is topic? I can't even spell. No wonder I need her here, because her teacher self. Topic. Okay. What is topic? I don't care if it's short, long, or in between. Tell me, what is our topic? Commitment to you. Okay. Looks like we got somebody up here. Let's find out. See what they say. What type up here? All things spiritual. Oh, no, we don't have anything yet. Can't post comments to the same destination. Okay, so we got nobody as of yet who is not afraid to talk about what commitment is to them. That's all right. We will talk a little bit more about commitment. So if we went down the route of getting married, some people say getting murdered. Okay, I said it once or twice. Sorry, sue me. But anyway, I've said that before, especially when times are bad. You kind of say things like that. And, we catch ourselves. Sometimes we don't. But what is commitment? Do we remember that line that we made when we made this commitment in connection to at least marriage? That line that said, for better or worse? Just think about that meaning of that word in your wedding vow. For better or worse. In plenty, in want, in joy, in sorrow. Sorry, she's not here to help me out. SORROW, sorrow. And then the last one we remember, in sickness, in health. Oh, it's getting close. Here's the cliffhanger. As long as we both shall live. How many of us remember that vow, or those vows, when we got married? How many of us do remember that vow, of those vows at all? I bet you right now, if I asked you to put your comments up there and say that you remember it, I would bet most of you don't even remember that vow. I bet you most of you don't even remember what you said. And that particular day, you might have put it on, you young folks might have put it on your phone and read it from your phone. Others might have it on a piece of paper. Or the pastor or the priest or whoever is there read it, just said it first, of course, and then you said yes. And most of you, if you went on in that, you said yes, but you probably don't remember those words whatsoever. Whatsoever. Something to think about, because in many of our relationships, when these times come, when it's in plenty or want, meaning when we are successful as could be, making a whole bunch of money, or we're poor as can be, and we don't have too much of anything, we're thinking to ourselves, and we might be thinking much of that even right now, what am I doing in here? Why am I in this relationship? Things ain't even going the way I wanted them to. So I didn't know why I'm even doing this. And at that time, when you say that, you just forgot your vow. You didn't think about that vow. You didn't think about the fact that you said yes to that time. That's right. You didn't think about that I said yes at that time. In your times of plenty, oh, there's a lot of yeses going on. But in the time of when you have no plenty and you're not doing well, the first thing you're going to say is, she did something. He did something. Life did something. No, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this no more. I feel that next vow I spoke of, in joy in sorrow, I've got too much sorrow going on, and I'm not going to do this anymore. You forgot about the yes. Didn't even think about the yes that you made in that beginning when you got married, called commitment. Sickness and health. I don't know how many of us don't want to even think about running into sickness and health. Well, let's say mostly sickness, because most of the time we want to stay healthy all the time. I mean, we're trying to eat good. Some of us are trying to, how can I say it? Make sure we get those negative people out of our life. We're trying to stay more positive. We're trying to create an atmosphere, at least to ourselves, so that sickness doesn't come about. Sickness, get you to the hospital. Sickness means there's finances that has to come to pass. Sickness means that in turn, you're going to have time off of work. Sickness means, well, hey, how about the COVID time? Talk about some sickness that we went through. I mean, we went through some serious sickness. Well, let's say some of us did, and sadly, some of us passed on, and some of us made it through. But we spent a lot of time just with ourselves. We spent a lot of time getting to know ourselves, or spent a lot of time being connected to that other mate. And we know during that time, if it was in small corners, we definitely were thinking about or feeling, why did I get into this relationship? Why am I connected to this particular person? I'm really not feeling them. That vow, as long as we both shall live. That last part is talking about having a relationship that's long term. So when you think about it, a commitment, okay, that's right. A commitment is really something that we made at that moment of time together, something we did supposedly in front of God or gods or some other being or person. They became a witness, and we had witnesses around there. We had a boy, we had a girl, a first man, a first woman, and a whole bunch of people that came to that particular relationship to see us openly say that and listen to us make that kind of promise called a commitment, okay? And we did not think that these were empty words, okay? We thought that these Words we said meant a lot, and they were heavily on our minds during that time. We felt like this was something that should, only happen once upon a time. I know somebody, come and think of my aunt. She got married to this guy she knew for 3 or 4 years. They spent over $10,000 on this marriage, and that's nothing compared to other people do. $10,000 on the marriage. It was a big marriage. Our relatives from all over came to this marriage. I mean, from all over, and everybody who was witnessing this marriage said, there's just no doubt about it. They're going to stay together for a long time. They're just made for one another. We know when they made that vow, that was going to be a commitment that was not going to be turned around. Not going to. Sadly to say, about 2 years later, they were divorced. They separated. In fact, they acted like those vows they made didn't even exist. They outright didn't even like each other anymore. That idea of commitment, that went right out the door. You made a promise to represent a genuine commitment. There's longevity and quality in your relationship called a marriage, or in this case, a long-term relationship. And that's what the idea of marriage is. It really is starting in the area commitment of a long-term relationship. That's right. Commitment is really connected to a long-term relationship, folks, not a short-term. I mean, I know we have a lot of us who are in casual relationships, plain house relationships, but most of us have not made that long-term commitment, haven't used those words, whether it is officially through a marriage ceremony or something you personally did on your own between the two, but you haven't really made a commitment. Many of us are afraid of commitment, when it comes to relationships. Hey, don't get me wrong. At one time in my life, I was afraid of commitment too. And my only fear of commitment was I didn't think anybody's going to be that serious about it in the first place. So why would I think that I should strongly be about committing in a relationship when I think most of the person I hung around with or tried to date or tried to connect with, they weren't even serious about it. What does that say? That says that commitment really has to do with what you want to create, what you want to create. I'll say it again. What is it that you want to create in a relationship? What is it that you want to connect to in your relationship? One that you start or one that you're in? You have to make the choice if you really want to connect or commit in that relationship. The creation and the possibility of it is first starts with you. Are you ready to connect, or in this case, commit to your own self about being serious of how you want to relate and can relate to somebody else in the long term? If you are ready and can commit to yourself to do that, because you got the ability to be able to do that, you got the want to do that. In my old days, old school was I shedded all my oats, or I got tired of running around, whatever it may be. You make that choice. You have to come to that conclusion of that commitment to your own self. I'm going to be able to connect to someone better or worse. I'm going to be able, through joy or sorrow, be able to stick in there. I'm going to be able to, during sickness and health, I'm going to be able to, I have the fortitude. I have the courage. I have the ability. I know that's in me and I can make this happen. And I'm going to do it as long as we both shall live. Now, I know a lot of people hear me say that, go, hey, that sounds good. That sounds fine. Craig, you're talking some ideal stuff. Well, no doubt about it, it's ideal stuff. I mean, no doubt about it, it is. But you can create that ideal stuff just like you do with, hey, maybe I'm gonna stay on the job for a long time, even though people ain't on jobs long much anymore. Or maybe you got on the grind of this new gig, or in this case, hustle you're gonna do. Or you're doing your hustle with all kinds of commitment. You're doing your hustle in such a way you got your whole soul and mind committed into it. So you got the ability and the energy to be able to do that. So it's not like it's impossible to be able to do that and create that in connection with someone else, because it can happen. And a thriving relationship, a balanced relationship, understands that and is about that and wants to build on that for better or for worse. So in a commitment, we make moments in time. I'll say it again. In a commitment, we make moments in time together. We don't look at it as being just empty words of tradition. We're beyond that idea of this is just tradition, and that's why I should say it because mom and dad say it. No, no, no. We make that commitment to ourselves and say this is something we can create and we can do, and we have the right to be able to do this. That agreement or that pledge, that's what you may call it, is something that we shoot for in the future. No, I didn't say that you don't live in the present, because living in the present says to you, you are looking for living, not dying. Also, living means I'm going to be here longer than where I am right now. And since I'm going to be here longer than what I am right now, then I'm committed to also look for what's going to happen in the future. And my commitment and my promise and my intentions in connection to someone is about what is our future going to be as we stand right now in the present. I'd like to know why I'm talking right now. How many people understand what I'm saying and understand that same passion and have made that kind of commitment in your life to somebody else? If you have, please make a comment up there. Put a comment and tell me who is that person in your life that you made that commitment to. You may not want to mention their name, but you may want to say you have committed your life to someone. Don't be afraid. One thing is for sure. If you are operating in such a way where you are committed to someone and they're committed to you, then there is no fear of openly speaking that and walking on that foundation of being honest, open, and transparent. You don't hide things. You don't manipulate things. You don't have your own thing, and she's got her own thing, and we don't share between the two whatsoever. You see that in some relationships where people are doing their own thing and the other person don't know anything about it. You can see maybe a TV show, see it in movies, and it's set up in such a way that they're adversaries to one another. They're not really connected to one another. They're opposites from one another in all ways, but somehow they're walking and talking and connecting together. Really? Come on now. That doesn't really make any sense. The commonality doesn't even seem to exist there. No more than we have the same last name or we live in that house and maybe share a bed and kids. No, commitment is deeper than that. Commitment is a interpersonal relationship that's based upon agreed commitments to one another involving love, trust, of course, the hot principle, and many other behaviors. It forms a committed relationship that includes friendship, and of course, it also has a lot of another form of, engagement. And of course, we already talked about marriage, and some people who don't necessarily do the official marriage thing, civil union. I think the important thing here is let's not be afraid of commitment. Let's not think that commitment is only for older people and that commitment itself is not something that you really can move into. One of the reasons why you may feel lost, one of the reasons why you may not feel connected in the world is because of the fact that you have not made a commitment to yourself and you really have not made a commitment to someone else. And the grounding that you get being committed to yourself and committed to someone else is a grounding foundation that you could use to build upon in this world. We don't get to hear a lot about, especially in the Black community, I think what they call power couples. I think the most example one not too long ago, they're still around, of course, are the Obamas. But there's been plenty other power couples. And we don't get to hear, see, smell around our own personal experiences of power couples. Many times our mom and dad would like the Jeffersons. That's an old show. Of course, some of you people don't know about, but are at each other's throat at all times. You really they don't even connect together. In fact, they're mostly opposite. So we don't even have much experience in dealing with people who really are committed to one another. And so that we get to live and breathe and see what commitment really is about and see that as being that's a normal, natural way of life. It's a natural order of life to be able to be committed to another person that you care about. And that person, the same way. The experience that you can have, the stories that you can gain, the journey that you'll get out of life when you make a commitment with someone else, and that person makes a commitment to you. It's a lifetime journey together that only you two can experience and have. Nobody else can. They can look in, they can see it, but only you two can share on it. Now we know there's other relationships called poly relationships where there's more than just two. Sometimes there's three that exist, been existing in this world for a long time, especially in the first world. And that's still about relating in the long term. The commitment we're talking about is long term. In fact, I don't think that casual relationships and anything shorter than that is true commitment. True commitment is long term. And so they have relationships like that in other parts of the world. And even here, as I said, poly being more than one. And there are long-term relationships that happen. Come on. I'm talking here. I could keep going on and on. Even when Sharon's not here, I do miss her, I have to admit. And her point, counterpoint. But I love to hear your views. I love to hear your point of view on what you feel and what you think about what commitment is, our topic that we're talking about. Please speak up. Don't be afraid. Don't be uncomfortable. Don't make it seem like, oh, when it comes to commitment, it's a bad thing or it's a usual thing, because commitment is a mindset. Where's your mindset? Do you have a mindset that's committed to your dreams? Do you have a mindset that's committed to your wants? Do you have a mindset that's committed to your community? Do you have a mindset that's committed to your world? Do you have a mindset that's committed like that? Well, come and get in it. How's that? If you're committed, come on and get in it. Move in it. Flow with it. Be connected to it. Because commitment is a mindset. It's an attitude. It's a way of thinking that will enable you and your spouse to navigate through the still waters and storms of life, through the hard times, through the good times. Commitment has that kind of strong glue. Both of you are creating a connection with one another. both of you are saying that sickness or health, joy or sorrow, plenty or if we're poor, till we pass from this place, this earth, this realm, this domain, we are going to live. Not die. We're going to live. We're going to expand. We're going to grow. We're going to live. Now, I will let you know right here and right now, working on a relationship, or in this case, whether it's long term, which is what we're talking about, whether it's civil unions, which is still long terms, it ain't going to always be easy. And I may have gave the impression to you, my words, as if those high level kind of mind thoughts means it's going to be easy. No. One thing is for sure. If you keep those high level mindset thoughts, meaning commitment is a mindset and the attitude, meaning it's you that has that right ability to create those things in your mind and your emotions. And of course, if the other person has made that commitment to you in the long run, then yes, they have the ability to do the same thing too. And that's what you really want, to be doing that together. But it does not mean it's going to always be that way. So we got to keep it not only right, we got to also keep it real. That's right. We got to keep it also real. So keep it real means we're not going to always go through that same thing. Meaning we're not going to always be on the mountaintop. We're not going to always take the highest road. Life is going to deal with us in such a way that says, oh, commitment you say, commitment you want, well, come at me and see just how much you really feel about it. Or she really feels about it. We live in such a polarized world. We live in such a world where people just don't want to see us together, through jealousy, through mindsets of family, don't want other family to deal with you. Or maybe the kids of that other mate doesn't like you. Maybe you're in a different part of the country and you're trying to relate to people in that part of the country and they don't like you. Any way it goes, you're not feeling, and if anything, you're fighting against this. I'm trying to stay commitment. It's trying to stay connected, but everything around me is trying to pull us apart. Sometimes you get that feeling you're trying to get pulled apart even from the inside. Someone's messing with you at the job. Someone's messing with you on the street. Someone's giving you a hard time saying, hey, you think you all that. You got thoughts in your mind that's giving you that what if. I should have did something else differently. So commitment starts to fall to the side, but we want to move forward. We don't want to let commitment get away with us. Or in this case, get away from us. We want commitment and the power of what it does and what it can to create in your relationship to stay connected. Because it's a mindset. That's what it is. Commitment is a mindset. It's a mindset that says, I'm going to stay connected, good or bad. Rich or poor, sickness or health. It's a mindset. And you have to set your mind on that. If you want a long-term relationship, especially that long-term relationship has to be based on commitment. Now let's talk about some of the things that can basically have some problems, okay? Because working on a long-term relationship, marriage or civil union, there's going to be some remodeling. It's like a house. Yep, it's like a house. You both moved into that new house. Might be the apartment complex the first time. Might be a brand new house. But one thing's for sure, you two weren't living in a house before that. I don't care if you started to live in that house, meaning you live together just to check and see how well you could do together, till when you finally want to live together. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, it's like remodeling a house. First of all, it takes a longer than you plan. Yeah. Oh, most of us know that when we first got together and we were really trying to make that commitment, at least we were trying to go that direction. We put on our best self. Yeah. During that courtship time, we put on our best suits, our best ties, our best clothes, our coolest attitudes. We almost do anything for that particular person, only because of the fact that what we're trying to do is to show that I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you. And I'm hoping I can woo you or make you or fool you now for you to connect with me back in return. Not knowing that when it comes to that connection that you are trying to make called commitment, woo, you didn't know that commitment also is in the realm of long term. Long term. So it takes longer than you plan. You kind of figured that, woo, hey, I got that that swerve, that suave. I got that flex. She looked good also too. We may have that good romp around in the night. And boom, we wake up in the morning, whether it's civil or marriage, and whoop, there it is. Have a little while of that, rosy colored glasses between one another, looking at each other in such a way that we're so much in love is not even funny. But then you get that 5-year itch, that 7-year itch. Sometimes it's that 2-year itch. Like I said about my cousin who spent $10,000 on her relationship marriage, and it lasted no more than 2 years. I know full well when they thought about commitment, they only thought about it for probably the first year. And then when you saw her every day, you were with her every day or with him every day, they did not think about commitment is about long term. That means it takes longer than you plan. If you plan to connect in a committed relationship, do not have a thought process that these experience I'm having right now just is good for the minute, and that's all I'm going to feel good about. And I ain't thinking nothing more than tomorrow. Hey, you might as well say it's a casual relationship because it ain't going to carry on. It may not carry on till next time. I always say in loveness is an overrated product. Anyway, you can get in love or fall in love as quickly as you can fall out. And sometimes falling out of love can take a little bit longer time too. It's an overrated product. But commitment, long term, it takes longer than you plan. That's why it says, shall death do you part. So you don't have on your mindset a short-term thing. You don't have in your mindset, because again, it's a mindset, it's an attitude. You have to have that commitment in your mindset that says, this is a venture I'm taking together with this person. It's a venture. I don't know where we're going. I don't know how we're going. Yeah, we're going to make plans. We're going to do those things in the future, but this is a venture. I know some guys I met that were all about marrying that lady they loved so much that particular night. I knew and talked to them. A couple of days later, they were like, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait till it's over. All of that lovey-dovey, felt good about her, and I see her in the morning, her curls, her and her makeup still on her, and she got an attitude because she's a morning, she ain't no morning person like she was before. Boom, there it is. There it is. It's over with now. I can't do this. I can't make this commitment thing. It costs more than you figure. That's right. In a committed relationship, long-term relationship, it's going to cost you. We ain't talking about just money, even though that's important to understand to be made. And that's right. I know money don't buy love. And that's the first thing you can need to understand, which is why I didn't plug and say cost meant money, because money don't buy love. Many people who have a lot of money, sugar daddies, whatever you want to call it, cougars, whatever you may want to use that word, don't mean that relationship lasts no more than just a flick of my finger. It cost. Hey, when you look at the vows, as long as we live, it cost you your life. Long term, your life. Are you prepared maybe to die for your spouse? Is your spouse prepared to die for you? Long term. Hopefully, you don't both have to do that. You'll grow to a good old age and you might be able to pass away together. Anywhere it goes, commitment is about costing, and the cost is your life. If you ain't ready for that kind of long term thing called real commitment, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's messier than you anticipated. That's right. Commitment can be messier than what you anticipated. What's messier? Here's an example of messier. Messier could be, she loved her kids more than me. I'm talking about a second marriage now. It also could be, he loved his mama. He can't do nothing without whatever his mom telling him what to do. You married another woman who has children. She can't do nothing. Or she'll let me do nothing with those kids because she said them are my kids. Messy. Messy. You look at some of those shows like the Atlanta Housewives or the House Guys or whatever it may be. You can see the messiness called drama. And it like goes on and on and on. And Sharon thinks it's nothing but, I see there, Sharon. She thinks it's nothing but scripted reality. So you're scripting reality, meaning you are putting together more drama for the show so more people can watch. Why? They want to reproduce that same drama in their life too? Probably so. No wonder why there's so much short-term mess in relationships and they don't last long and divorce is high as can be. Because you didn't think there was going to be no messiness. You didn't anticipate there was going to be any messiness in it. And then when it got messy, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to handle it. You didn't know how to deal with it because that's not what you imagined. But it is that reality. You didn't know anything about, maybe I need to have a counselor that is on call. Kind of like the same way you keep maybe a lawyer on call or a friend on call. Because certainly a counselor is someone that could help you out during those times when you need someone to talk to. Because we're talking about a long-term relationship. And a long-term relationship, again, in sickness and health, it could be unhealthy situation going on and you ain't gonna be able to fix it your own self. You ain't gonna be able to know what to do your own self. So you're gonna need someone else on the outside to help you out. The same way we're trying to do that right now when it comes to taking the journey together, giving you some bits and nuggets of information that you could take for your own self. If not right now, put it in that deep freezer. One day you're gonna pull it out. But commitment, that strong foundation that keeps that relationship moving in the long run through sickness, through sorrow, through death. That's what commitment is all about. It's messy. It costs. It takes longer than what you planned in the first place because it's a lifetime thing. Yeah, I'm gonna use the word lifetime thing. It requires greater determination than you expected. I know in my first relationship, my first marriage, my first long-term relationship, first time having children of my own and connected to another woman I committed to, I did not think whatsoever it would take a great determination to connect in that relationship when children came into the existence. Didn't plan for it well. They look nice to be able to have because I seen, aunts, uncles have them with the different women they had. Watch them on TV and they run around and laugh and all that stuff. It's a different thing when that child comes to life and is yours. I remember when I felt in my arms our first child in from my first marriage. I felt that child in my arms. I was scared as can be. Anything that had to do with commitment as a father or commitment in this relationship, shoot, commitment ran right out the door. I looked at this little being in my arm and said, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this little being. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this little child. It's wiggling, it's turning, it's crying, and I ain't asking it to cry, and it keeps on crying. Even when I tell it not to cry, it cries anyway. I'm like, I ain't got no control over this thing. This little being, this little child. I'm like, this is more than what I expect. This is greater than what I expected. That was my first one. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't look at my first child and say, ooh, what a loving, loving child I have in my arm. I'm so grateful to be. No, I did not. I did not. And a lot of you out there being guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You were just as scared the first time when you saw that child in your arms. Now, later on, you get kind of used to it. And you have them around and running around. Meantime, you don't pay no attention after you get through that shot. But that's only because of the fact that you get immune to the fact this was more than what I expected. And so you'll pawn them off to your mom. Excuse me, act like their mom, because they are the mom of that child. You'll pawn them off to her. So you don't have to deal with them, because that's too much expectation to deal with this child that's running around at all times, wanting to have attention, eating from you or from somebody. And you're like, man, I ain't got no time for this. I ain't got all the energy because I didn't expect this in the first place. But commitment says sorrow or joy, sickness or health. That's what commitment says. It's a messy thing at that time, but that's what commitment will say to you. I did not really determine that was going to be something I can expect, but because of the fact that that's part of commitment, I'm going to flow with this. I'm going to roll with this. The same way I may do at the job, the same way I may do in life with my boys or my friends, the same way I do in life every day. Some things I have no control of, but I'm still going to flow with it. I'm going to somehow make it happen or work with that mate of mine for it to happen. Or sometimes I'm just going to allow it to happen. Commitment. That's what we're talking about, commitment. Sometimes it requires a greater determination than what we expected. Sometimes the only thing that keeps us going is hope and commitment. Just plain hope. I'm going to use the Jesse Jackson line. Keep hope alive. I always liked that line. Some of you guys are too young to even know that, but I always liked that line that Jesse Jackson threw out a long time ago in his campaign. I'll be honest with you, when I first heard it when I was younger, I thought it was corny. I mean, seriously, I thought it was corny. But, you know, when you go in life and you move a little bit more in life, getting older, and you get knocks and bumps, meaning you don't always get things your way, whether you force people or not, you find out that, wow, it seems like hope is the best thing to always keep up and should be always alive. Because without that hope, there's many things I can't even get in partnership. I can't keep even in a connection. I can't even keep in a relationship. Yeah, I'm going to say it right here. You can't even keep commitment going on with that other person because there ain't no hope there. That death, do we part, sickness and health, that other person's like, nah, I hope that ain't going to ever continue on between you and I anyway, because I don't like you. So hope goes right out the door. Commitment says, I'm going to keep the hope alive. Commitment between you two, if you're both operating in that thriving, balanced relationship, you both know commitment means I'm going to keep hope alive. You can't always know what's going on ahead of you. You can't always control what's going on in the future. You can't always do that. There's no doubt about it. You can use the Sankofa principle and go back in the past, and from the past, look at your mistakes and pull something good out of it. And it can help you now in the present and help you in the future too. No doubt about that. Thank God for that Sankofa principle. But one thing is for sure, you still can't determine it totally. You can get within the boundaries, but you still can. So what keeps you moving forward? Remember, sickness and health, joy and sorrow, plenty and poor. Both of them tells you on those both ends of the spectrum and everything in between, you don't have total control, but you hope and pray for the best. Notice I use the word you hope for the best. I say the blessed. So you got to keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Jesse Jackson, thank you for that. I appreciate it, my brother, because I try to keep hope alive in my relationship, and I don't always get along. She ain't here now, bless her heart. Hopefully no one tells her, but I don't always get along with her. She don't always get along with me. Some of you guys already know that, can see that. Some of you guys who know me know that, and they probably wonder, why does she get along with me? It's hope based on commitment. We've made a commitment to one another. I think her commitment sometimes outshines me and allows me to understand that it can, and in turn makes me feel okay that I can commit back in return. I already told you a long time ago, if you were listening, I wasn't too much committed to other particular relationships or other particular women because I didn't think that they could even be trusted to be committed in a relationship. I come from like the Kansas City, Missouri area. It's called the show me state. You got to show me. You can talk all you want, but you got to show me. Commitment means sometimes we're going to have to show them too, back in return, that we can be commitment, that we are people that are committed to ourselves, and we can be committed to somebody else, someone that we say we love, someone we say that we care about. We can do that. A committed relationship is one in which you and your partner intensely say yes to the future together. Again, a committed relationship is one in which you and your partner intentionally say yes to the future together. And that yes is preceded by conversations about hope, dreams, plans for yourself and the relationship itself. You do not think or even feel that anything is closed doors, that any of those areas are something we don't talk about. We keep to ourselves. We hide. In a committed relationship, a long-term relationship, you can't afford not to. It takes longer. There's more things to figure out. It costs you. It's messier. It takes greater determination. Sometimes you many times have to keep hope alive. So you've got to have all the pieces open. There can't be no card game where I'm going to let you put down all your cards. I'm going to keep my cards to see where you're coming from. You can't do that. That's not going to work in a committed relationship. You got to throw all your cards down so both of you know. That's right. You got to be hot to one another. Honest, open, and transparent. That's how you're going to move. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to expand in a committed, thriving, healthy relationship. Now, if you're not committed, you're not going to want to share details of your life, and you feel uncomfortable with that, and another person feels uncomfortable with that, why would you? You have the power of choice. Why would you? What you doing in that relationship for? Why are you trying to create that relationship when you don't even feel that way? And they ain't feeling it also too at the same time. Remember, however, when you're committed, you're happy for them. You want to know the deeper parts of them. Ain't nobody hiding anything. Ain't nobody pulling teeth whatsoever. You're both open up every part of your life. In return, you expect the same thing back from them. Stay committed. Make that part of your life and take that journey together. Until next time, God bless and Ashe. Take it away. Uh-oh. I just gave it over to our engineer. I don't know where he's at.
I like that.